Hey there, it's Leslie at Leslie's Cookies and Treats, and today is my son's birthday, and his favorite Pokemon is Squirtle, so that's what we're going to catch today. So grab your cookies and decorate along with me. I'm going to start by outlining his eyes with a black royal icing in about a 25 or 30-second detail consistency, so I'll just touch down, lift up with my piping bag, staying pretty close to the cookie, and slowly going around and touching down when I get back to the end. And then if you have any bumps, you can settle it down with your scribe or a toothpick before you move on to the next part, where we'll just put some white icing right in the center of these eyes. And we'll use our scribe or our toothpick to get it out to the edges and settle it down. And make sure that the icing gets all the way down to the cookie so that you won't have a crater as the icing settles. So give it a good up and down tap to get that icing to settle down. And then set this cookie aside to dry until the eyes crust over, and then come back in with your blue icing. My white icing and my blue icing is both about a 15-second flood consistency, and I'm just going to slowly outline this cookie and then flood it in. The outline was done in real time, and I'll speed it up now for the flooding. So just go ahead and flood your cookie in with a generous amount of blue icing, being careful not to go over the top of those eyes. And if your icing consistency is not a 15-second flood, be careful not to go all the way to the edge because you don't want your icing to overflow, but instead use your scribe or your toothpick to get your icing out there and to pop any air bubbles that look like little darkened areas of the icing. And once your cookie is smooth, set Squirtle aside to dry completely, and we'll come back in with our projector, or you can use the tissue paper method to transfer the designs, and I'll leave a link in the description for a video that explains that process. But I'm going to use my projector and an image I had off the internet. By the way, all of these cookies were hand cut using that image I found on the internet. So I'm going to just use my black air mist color here and a paintbrush, a fine detail paintbrush, and outline the eyes. And then I'm going to come back in with my marker and add in the rest of the details on his face. I'm using a fine tip black edible marker here, and I'll leave a link in the description of the products I use. This is a Tweets marker. And once I got all of the markings down, I turned off my projector because it's much easier to see, and I'm just going to use my fine tip paintbrush and paint in the rest of the eye here with my black Amerimist food color. This is a food color that is for using with a airbrush system, and you don't have to thin it down with vodka or an alcohol or an extract. You can just paint with it straight from the bottle, which is why I like to use it. I actually don't have an airbrush machine and don't want one. Now I'm just going to go over the lines I traced with the projector again to make them a little darker. And then I'll grab my red edible marker and color in the rest of his eyes here, and then this cookie will be done. What do you think? Squirtle, Squirtle! Who's your favorite Pokemon? I like Meowth because a cat that walks and talks. Pretty cool. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Pokemon is, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the Pokemon from this series. You're going to want to catch them all. Thanks for watching.